Okay, a little
What's
bit delayed.
happening?
Sorry about that, everybody. But welcome in, welcome in.
What's happening? What's happening? What's happening, people?
What's popping? Brand new whip just hopped in. But I'm not a rapper. But I'm not a rapper.
You're not a rapper.
Hey, Jasmine, we were talking, and we're actually just curious. Either way is fine, but we're curious. Is this politically correct to even ask someone what their gender is? I don't know what to do about that today. But are you a woman or a man? And maybe I'm being completely incorrect in my political questioning here, but we were like, I don't know. Okay, some people have different names, and then they're like, nah. So we just want to make sure that we address everyone in the right way. What's up, Long Lake? Is that politically the right way to say that? Definitely not, right?
I think hopefully we haven't offended anyone, but that's okay. I'm a girl, not a woman. See, you stupid idiot.
I'm
Have you seen?
sorry.
Have you seen like Jimmy Fallon where he sees like RuPaul? He's like, here's the
Yeah.
the first drag queen. He's like,
A
drag
drag
queen.
queen?
I'm the king of
And
drag,
his
or
face,
queen
he's
of
like,
drag. He's like he shit himself.
he's like, I thought I just lost my career. What's up, Long Lake? What's up, Clyde? Quote says, congrats on the 1,000 subs. I really appreciate that, man. It means a lot.
Appreciate you.
Blue says, let's treat that like button like Chris Rock. Oh my god. We do have a like goal of 100 likes tonight, so if you haven't dropped a like go ahead and do so. What's up, Jasmine? What's up, Ravers? Clyde's here. Jay Stump, what's up? Hey, yo. What's up, AJ Pena? What's up, Drusiv? What's up, Golf Perk? Good evening, brother. Good evening, brother. Welcome in. What's up, Shawnee? Good day. I want to quickly just, as people are kind of hopping in, let's talk about this Jimmy G thing. Tweet came out last night. Well, for us last night. For you guys, it was probably in your morning. But I retweeted it over there on the old Twitter sphere. And, we aren't as active as other accounts over there on Twitter. But I would say if you are looking for a Twitter account to follow, I might as well show you guys ours because we do retweet some things that are pretty important, and every once in a while,
it's actually tough.
Put our thoughts out there. Yeah, Twitter is like a very interesting space.
We really tried when we first started, and we were really big on like Instagram and social media. Like that was like something that we were trying to build really big, and we tried Instagram or Twitter. It's just hard to grow, and you have to really be engaged in conversation. It's like, well, do we want to put our focus into that or making some videos?
Yeah,
it was like so much effort.
I don't know if this is going to show or not, but is this showing?
What's happening? It's not. I don't see anything on the screen currently. No.
Oh well, my bad. Anyway, if you want to follow us on Twitter, you can definitely do so. I feel like I'm old because I don't know how to do this. But anyway, we retweet. The whole point of what I'm trying to say is that we retweeted. I just put our link to our Twitter there. We retweeted a tweet from Kyle. From Ian Rappaport. Jesus, help me, God. And he said 49ers coach Kyle Shanahan here at the NFC Coaches Breakfast, which, by the way, I had no idea that was a thing. The NFC Coaches Breakfast. Just a bunch of NFC coaches come together. They're like, let's have breakfast. Says he sees a scenario where Jimmy G is on the roster in 2022 and acknowledges the surgery-delayed trade talks. As for if both Trey Lance and Jimmy G are on the roster, Shanahan, and this is the most frustrating part of this all, Shanahan declined to name a starter. Really? We're already here.
We're already here, and this was the thing. I said it earlier, and it's not that I don't believe in Trey Lance. It's not that I don't see a future where he can be a top fantasy relevant guy. I think Jimmy G can be in the way for another year.
Yeah.
And I mean, he almost took this team to a Super Bowl. He took them to the playoffs. Almost took this team to a Super Bowl. Beat the Green Bay Packers that no one expected. Yeah. Felt like. Maybe Jimmy, and I know you always say, Jimmy G he didn't make them. He didn't help them win.
No,
but he was a part of that win. He was a part of that process.
They won in spite of Jimmy G, in my opinion.
So it's interesting. It's interesting
but
to
yeah,
see
you guys
what's
can see
going to
that
happen.
Tweet that we retweeted over. I sent the link in there. But the thing is, like, the fact that we're here. It's March, almost April, and we are still saying the head coach is declining to name a starter. Well, that tweet, like right there at that breakfast, you had a chance to publicly come out and say, you know what? There's been a lot of rumors, but Jimmy G will be the backup if he's on the team. Trey Lance will start. You had a chance to inspire some confidence, and he didn't do that. So it's a little bit frustrating for anyone who owns Jimmy G. I'm not saying that Jimmy G's not going to start, but man, it is frustrating.
Yeah, it is.
Ronnie says, "Did you ever buy that Eli Apple jersey?" But
not yet.
People
not yet.
People are holding you accountable. We need you to buy that Eli Apple's jersey.
I am going to wait until after the wedding because you have a bunch. Even though it's like $20, so it's not that crazy. But I'm gonna wait until after the wedding because honestly, that's the last thing on my mind. Yeah. I have so much stuff and all the vendors and everything.
I'm gonna hold them accountable to you. That I guarantee you that.
Well, I'll definitely get it.
The reason for me is because I want to try and get that black jersey for the Commanders potentially. So
yeah, but for sure you will see it on. And I think when I come back, I'm gonna switch the room around so you don't see that mirror behind me anymore. So you're gonna see like a plaque of an Eli Apple jersey, and maybe I'll just put like a big apple, like American.
Ronnie says, "Wear it to your wedding." Sticker. There you go.
If I can find my size, bro.
Yeah, probably won't find your size.
I probably can't find my size.
Mayday says, "Is Simon Pegg your dad, Zach? You look so much like Shaun from Shaun of the Dead." I actually don't know what that is, but let me look on Google. Shaun from Shaun of the Dead. Let's see, Shaun of the Dead. Sean Riley, is that his name?
Yeah, he's talking about that English dude.
Okay. He's pretty funny. I'll take that. No, yeah, he could be my dad.
You're not my dad.
Long Lake, what's up? Drusiv says your videos say Dynastyland, but the wrong channel name is Fantasyland. But the channel name is Fantasyland, so I will search the wrong thing on socials. All right. Well, this is gonna be really interesting. What's up, John? What Steven said here. I think saying Lance would be the starter would hurt Jimmy's trade value. I agree, but I mean, it's kind of one of those things where aren't we all on the same page that Trey should be starting? So what's the point of not naming him starter? You know, I think everyone around the NFL would say if Jimmy G is starting, it would be a pretty colossal fail from the organization's perspective because the whole reason they made this trade was because they didn't think Jimmy was the guy. But hey, this is going to be interesting tonight. By the way, big shout out Wyman.
Oh yeah. Wyman.
Big shout out to Wyman Baxley for signing up to our Patreon leagues, for supporting the show, also getting some exclusives in return. Appreciate you, my guy. We're going to send you a message afterwards. I also added you on Discord, so accept that friend request when you can, and we'll send you some information after this. And by the way, with Wyman's sign up, this latest Dynasty league that we have opened is one person away from being filled, okay?
That's right.
So if you are at all interested in playing Dynasty with us while also supporting our channel, getting exclusives in return like the Fantasy Hotline where you can ask us one-on-one questions, our rankings, Dynasty Redraft, Rookie, you can be a part of an exclusive chat over there on Discord, exclusive roles, and exclusive live streams in the season for Patreon members only. So Correct. If you're interested, I pasted that link. I actually just pasted our Discord, I'm sorry. But here comes the Patreon link if anyone is interested. But no pressure at all, of course, as always. But there is one spot left in that latest league. And then once that is full, we will send out invites for everyone to join that league. But actually doing something a little bit different tonight. We wanted to find a way to put more value on our Patreon supporters, those who have decided to support our channel, to support us in a monetary way. And so tonight, the link will be sent out to our Patreon supporters. Now, if you're sitting here and you're saying, "Well, I'm not a Patreon supporter," that's okay. You don't have to be at all. It's not like all of our mocks will be this way. So it'll be kind of like alternating in between Patreon supporters and everyone else. So don't worry, we're not blocking you out or anything or forcing you to sign up. That's not the case at all. Just want to find a way to put value on those who are supporting us.
Absolutely.
So it's going to be a little bit interesting, but if you're in our Patreon, hopefully you've linked your account, and the Patreon MVPs only. Now, if you're not supporting us on Patreon, you won't have access to that chat just yet. But everyone who supports us from the Close Friends Plus and above has access to that chat. So, Badaki, do you want to go ahead and send that link out for us?
Yeah, Patreon's MVP only. Yeah, I'll send this link out. We'll see.
So the link is about to come to the Patreon MVPs only chat. All right.
Am I adding everyone in this chat?
Yeah, just say at everyone. I think it only notifies people who are
in this chat
unlocked.
Right. All right, I'm gonna send it here right now in 3, 2, 1.
Kevin
a little
Bacon.
bit delayed. Here we go.
Hey, Kevin Bacon's in the chat. Is that JB or is that a different Kevin Bacon? It's probably a different Kevin Bacon.
Nah, I think that's JB.
Is it? You reckon?
I hope so. I'll tell you that much. Really
Dante Wallet, he says DK or DJ Moore straight up. DK. Easy for me. I don't know about Badaki. You've been a little weird on DK lately.
I'm still taking DK. Yeah, I'm still taking DK.
Okay. So everyone in today's mock is a Patreon supporter. So shout out to all of you guys for supporting us over there on Patreon. Again, you do not have to be a Patreon supporter to join our mocks. Just at certain times we will have Patreon only mocks. And I believe, there's definitely mocks coming up this week. And the one we did yesterday wasn't Patreon supporters. And the one we'll do another one, a startup this week that won't be for Patreon only as well.
Yeah.
But shout out to everyone who has supported us. This will be a PPR, non-tight end premium, not tight end premium. There's one quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 2 tight end or 1 tight ends, 2 flexes and 1 super flex. So it is a super flex league. And to everyone out there who loves the tight end premium, okay, I'll say this: 1, Badaki and I are not against tight end premium. We're not against change.
Correct. We like change.
We don't necessarily play it as much as we play non-tight end premium. However, we will be doing a tight end premium mock on Thursday night. Okay. So if you're out there and you're like, dang, I keep asking these guys to do a tight end premium mock, this Thursday night, you will see a startup tight end premium mock. Okay. So feel free to join us then, if you want to see us, because that will be the first time we've done that on this channel. So it'll be fun.
Correct. Very excited about that.
AJ Pena says hot take, but I think DJ Moore, he has less competition in the team and his quarterback situation is not going to be a long-term issue. I would kind of argue that they don't, I wouldn't consider Lockett competition though. I would consider Lockett just the perfect complementary piece to a guy like DK. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think they're going to move away from Lockett, I think, as well. Who else? There's so much to kind of think about. Both of these teams are geared up to get a quarterback. DK is a guy that can kind of play everywhere. Tyler Lockett should be moving forward here very soon, where they're going to be bringing people in for to help DJ and whoever that quarterback's going to be.
Yeah.
So I kind of see both sides, but I'm still leaning DK, I guess, based off
this is just a freak talent. You don't give up on DK at this point. All right, let's go ahead and start this off. Superflex. It's going to be fun. 60 seconds on the clock. We will switch to 30 seconds at some point in the mock. Dave Dixon says, a mock without Trippy or Garrett? I know. Crazy, right? Somehow they're not in today's. And hey, guys, Josh Allen goes 1-1. I'll turn off that sound until all the quarterbacks go. Just so you know, there is Super Chat now. So we finally got monetized, so you can send a Super Chat if you'd like to. There's obviously no pressure to do so. However, if we're going through the mock and we're missing like a question of yours or whatever, that's an easy way to get your question answered pretty quickly. So Josh Allen and then Justin Herbert. Mahomes is now the 103. How do you feel about that, Badaki?
I'm okay with it. If people believe in you take your guy here. You take who you believe in, the upside of the team around. I'm okay with any of these guys kind of being jumbled up in any type of way. Some people have Kyler Murray as their quarterback 2, quarterback 3. Just really depends on who you see and who you believe in. I think all these guys are kind of interchangeable. Besides, I feel like Lamar Jackson, he's more of a rushing upside. Same thing with Kyler Murray. Josh Allen has rushing upside, but the expectation he's supposed to stop. So we're going to see. We're going to wait and see what happens this year.
For me, Mahomes is still my quarterback 1, but he and Josh Allen are like locked in. So for me, the 1-2, I think you can go either way. But after that, I do feel like Herbert, Murray are kind of in a similar tier. And then I would say as well for Jackson, Watson, Burrow. So I just hit my funny bone. Jesus, they're a worse feeling. Probably, you know. I was about to say something really stupid. Okay, so I'm on the board here again. I have the 1-8 in one of our follower startup leagues. So this is a spot that I keep trying different things at. I tried Jonathan Taylor once. I tried Jamar Chase once. And, you know, I'm going to try Jonathan Taylor again here and just see what comes back to me.
Yeah.
Because again, I'm just going to continually try and mocking different strategies as we get closer to live streaming that startup draft. Cowboys are not pursuing Bobby Wagner. No surprise there. AJ Pena says, in my mocks, Watson keeps falling to the second. As someone who really wants him on my team, am I right in that not being a realistic expectation? I don't think it's realistic to expect Watson to fall to the second round. Unless people are just completely off of him for, you know, moral reasons. They just don't want him on their team. But I would say, Badaki, it's pretty safe to say that most startup drafts, you're going to see Deshaun Watson in the first 7 picks, right?
Yeah, I think that makes sense. First 7 picks. If someone does fall, if he does fall even lower than that, it's because his suspension is more than 8 games. Something's going to happen there if something were to happen. Gosh, I'm not getting no sound notification. I think that's because I turned it off.
Just while you're making your pick, if you guys haven't dropped a like, it would mean a lot to us. If you could drop a like.
You like that?
We have a like goal today of 100. 100. Probably
100.
unrealistic, but with your help, we might be able to do that. Now, Javonte Williams at the 112 and Kyle Pitts at the 2-1. I am still upset. Where is Melvin Gordon? You know what I mean? Like, why is Melvin Gordon not signed? I need you to sign somewhere, Melvin. I need it not to be Denver because you're really going to upset me as I have a ton of stock of Javonte Williams. So, so then we see Kyle Pitts go at the 2-1. Wow. Okay. So you took Fields over Trey Lance. This is a conversation that's going to be very interesting. And I can already imagine people commenting both in the chat and afterwards. We're going to see some comments where people are like, you took Justin Fields over Trey Lance?
I mean, I've always taken Justin Fields over Trey Lance. I always took Justin Fields over Trey Lance. I do believe I've always said this coming in. I always said I do believe Justin Fields will be the most successful quarterback from that draft. I still back that. I believe in his rushing upside and his arm, and I think his football IQ is fantastic. I know the team is not appealing, and I know people don't believe that they're going to build around him. But let's forget Matt Nagy is out. There's a whole new head office, a whole new head coach. And they're going to build around him here in this draft. At least that's what I believe.
Hey,
so.
Thank you, Nana.
Appreciate
Thank you,
you.
Nana. Oh, Nana. What's my name? Okay, so, yeah, you know, look, with Fields and Lance, for me, you and I have made a buy or sell on Lance or a panic meter on Justin Fields. For me, I think Lance is the one I would select over Justin Fields at this point. However, because of the situation around him. However, I do think Fields should go relatively quickly after him. But, you know, that's just that's a stance I've had for a long, long time. You know that.
Yeah. No, for sure. And I'm not, and this hasn't changed. Like, I don't know. I know people are really excited about Trey Lance. Is just, we haven't seen much from him. And I know what we saw was real minuscule.
Yeah.
You know, sample size, but the team around Trey Lance is better. But I do believe they will continue to build around Justin Fields and let that continue to grow. So.
You know, and as I'm about to draft Russell Wilson here, to me, he is the last tier of quarterbacks that I really, really want to trust as my quarterback 1. I trust him, you know, with the next 5 to 7 years. So I'll take him there. Great weapons in Denver. So I'm excited about getting him there at the 2-5. And, you know, look, here's the thing. If you're not, just to almost back your pick, if you actually believe that Fields is the guy, grab him and don't not draft Justin Fields because of the situation around him. Because as we have seen throughout the entire offseason, it is very easy for situations to change in an instant. Okay, Tyreek Hill is a Dolphin. Devontae Adams is a Raider. So situations can change in a heartbeat. Look at the NFL 2 months ago. What happens next offseason? You know, do they bring in an A.J. Brown? Do they bring in a DK Metcalf to Chicago? I mean, situations can change in a heartbeat.
Yeah,
Bet
100%.
based off of the talent that you believe in a person. And wow, Najee Harris at the 2-6. I don't think we have ever seen Najee Harris go that late, Badaki.
No, I mean, people are taking quarterbacks a lot earlier now. I think it's understandable. I think before, you know, team 10, team 11, team 12 were trying to go running back, wide receiver, or running back, tight end. But now I think it makes sense to go the quarterback, solidify that quarterback position, and hope that somebody else can come to you at the end.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say this. To be honest, everyone who is from 1 to 7, these guys drafting here, that is the best case scenario for them. That we all go quarterbacks here. Because then they have their prime choice of all these elite young weapons in Harris, Swift, A.J. Brown, CeeDee Lamb. For me, it's so difficult because I was about to pull the trigger on either Najee or A.J., but then I'm like, what quarterback is going to fall to me at the 3-8? Who am I going to feel comfortable with being there? So
Agreed. And I like Matthew Stafford there. It makes sense.
It's a hard dance to kind of
Russell Wilson
move around. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Brady's a buck. That's right. Steven says some rumors that Lance isn't winning over the coaching staff. That's interesting. Yeah, it's hard to say at this point.
People make mistakes.
Wait, what?
Yeah, like, not saying Trey Lance is not the guy. I'm saying, like, people make mistakes. Like, what if the 49ers made a mistake and that's not public? Trey Lance is. How can I say this? Like,
people make mistakes by making moves all the time in the draft. I get it, but it is far too early to be saying that because we haven't seen Trey Lance have a full offseason as the guy.
You're right.
We haven't seen him develop. It is way too early to be talking like that. You know what I mean? I mean, like, the only way that we can truly say that they made a mistake is start him. Let's see, what can he do for the team? Can he elevate your team to the next level? Yeah. Can he take steps? Can he take strides? I just think it's way too early to be saying that they made a mistake just yet.
I guess, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it was clear that, like, I don't know. It's a tough one. I think no matter what, if Trey Lance doesn't at least show some sort of show abilities that he can win games down this stretch or in his second year, like his second year of playing a full season, there's obviously gonna be questions, just like anyone.
Of course. That's the case for everyone, right?
Yeah, and that is the case for everyone.
Question Trevor Lawrence.
Four, but someone said 4 picks. Is it four first round they did for Trey Lance? No,
it wasn't 4. I believe it was 2. I could be mistaken. But they also gave their first in that draft. All right, so Cooper Kupp goes. Breece Hall is the 5th running back off the board. My goodness. CMC at the 212. Then Waddle at the 3-1. I am loving where I can get Jalen Waddle and startups. I think it's a steal. Mark Andrews at the 3-2. You and I, Badaki, just recorded a Jalen Waddle buy or sell video, which will be out very soon. I'm excited for you guys to watch that because we do have some passionate reasons as to why we believe in Jalen Waddle. What's up, Kenny? He says, Will Smith, that like button. Appreciate you guys. Almost 50 likes. IO Life, what's up? He says, I really like taking Russ at the 112 turn. Thoughts? I've actually thought about that, to be honest, because, you know, there's going to be people who are watching this who are in our Delta Dynasty League, our Delta Follower League, and I'm at the 12. And I have definitely thought about going and grabbing Russell Wilson. Dave says it's way too early for the public. The coaching staff definitely already knows. AJ Pena says, I would have gone JT Najee in your shoes, but I'm curious on if a quarterback in the 3rd is justifiable at this point. Worth noting that my league is 10 teams, so there might be more flexibility. Yeah, 10 teams is a little bit different because you do have so much more flexibility in that scenario there. I mean, at the moment, just based off what the mock draft looks like, quarterback was the wrong decision. But who knows? Let's see what the next 2 picks look like. Isaac says, how long are we going to pretend Fields is good? We are so impatient, guys. We are so impatient.
I think I can say the same for like Trey Lance. You know, how long are we gonna think he's? I don't know, but like that's the thing. We haven't seen him.
Yeah, I mean, Trey Lance, Trevor Lawrence.
We can say the same for everyone. You know, like there's just so much that we still don't know.
It's just too early. You know, I mean, think about how RG3 started his career. We thought Hall of Famer. It didn't work out, right? I mean, let's give players let's give quarterbacks at least 3 years before we truly judge who they are and what their upside is.
There goes Malik Willis.
Malik is off the board.
What you talking about, Willis?
What you talking about, Willis?
As long as he looks like he has rushing upside, IO Live said. Yeah, both of these guys do have rushing upside. And we saw that with Justin Fields in that little small, glimpse. He was top 5 amongst quarterbacks in rushing upside this past year. And he didn't even play a full season. So, and it's been a lot of back and forth with him. He was injured, Andy Dalton started multiple games. So it's interesting to see what that's going to look like when he has a full game, full season, excuse me. So very, very interesting. Tyreek Hill at the 3-7. Now you're on the clock. Yeah, Jonathan Taylor, Russell Wilson. I mean, I'm assuming you're going to go with the guy.
I don't think you know what I'm doing. What did you say?
I'm assuming you're gonna go with. Well, I'll tell you who I think you would go, but
don't
after you make your pick, and if he is taken, then if not, we'll talk about it.
Is Godwin on the board? Is Godwin here still? Did someone take Chris?
And he is still available.
All right,
that's what I was hoping to take on my turnaround.
I don't really love this draft so far for me. This is why I'm not a huge fan of getting a running back in the first round, because I do like getting solidified wide receivers. I have to say at this point, it feels like Russell Wilson might be the wrong choice, but then again, I mean, there's always a reaction. There's always that butterfly effect. If I don't take Russ, what does the rest of the mock look like, right? Where does Russ go, and what other decisions do people make? But I'm not in love with this start, if I'm being 100% honest with you guys.
It's okay, man.
That's why we mock. That's why we mock.
It's okay. Being a great value later in drafts. Here we go. Seems like a lot of reaching in this mock. Dave, talk it up, Dave. Adam Perry, should I hold the 111 and hopefully get Corral as QB3, or try to get Brady and replace him in a year or two? I have Lance Fields. I guess that would depend on where he's going, where he lands, maybe. But I think it's a safer bet to get Tom Brady right now, because to flip Matt Corral in year 2, unless he is going crazy, then unless he's finishing in as a top 12 quarterback for the next 2 years, then I think Tom Brady will be an easier flip along the road.
Someone asked why I took Godwin over Adams, and I think this is always the dance that we're going to be. This is always the dance we're going to be doing in these startup drafts. For me, there's going to be a lot of times Adams on the board, and I'm going to pass him up. Okay, if I miss out on the next 2 years of really good production, that's okay. But I would much rather invest in Godwin, who is connected to Tom Brady, maybe only for 1 or 2 more years, but 25 years old, someone that I feel like I can build around in my wide receiver room. Whereas Devontae Adams, I know you don't only draft for future, but again, I didn't take Elijah Moore there. I took Chris Godwin. So for me, I like Devontae Adams. I have him ranked similarly, but I don't want to build around Devontae Adams. He will be 30 years old here soon. In this season, he will be 30 years old. And what we always fail to do sometimes, well, I guess there's actually, to be honest, there's this tension that we never quite get right. I don't think anyone quite get it right, between undervaluing players because they're old and overvaluing players because they're elite now and you don't predict the drop off. So for me, again, like I just didn't want to build around Devontae Adams. That's not the player that I wanted to build around. And honestly, I mean, this is for anyone who's going to be drafting against me in Dynasty startups. I will never draft Adams in a startup. That's just not going to happen. It's just there's certain players in startups that I completely avoid. Last year it was Derrick Henry. I remember Derrick Henry was going in like the 2nd or 3rd round of startups, and everyone was on stream asking me, why aren't you taking Derrick Henry? Like, that's the wrong move. And I said, there's certain players I'm just not going to build around. So that's kind of my thought process there. There's certain players that they're on a list for me where I look at them and I'm saying, I don't really want to build around them in Dynasty, and Adams is on that list. Not that he's not elite. It's just.
Yeah. I'm kind of the same way. I did take Adams here. I know that sounds like a contradiction, but I took Adams because I do believe I can flip him later.
Okay.
I do believe I can get 2 first, or I can get a first and a player, because I do believe me, I like to go young. I like to get young players, even though Dak Prescott is not necessarily a young player, but I guess he's young for a quarterback. And me getting Elijah Moore there at the 4-2 is fantastic.
All right, I'm feeling better about this because taking Godwin, I wasn't sure what quarterback was going to fall to me. I was really hoping for either Trevor Lawrence or Tua to be here, and now Trevor is sitting there. I don't think Mac Jones is the wrong pick if you want to go Mac Jones. And I do believe in Trevor. We did make a video on Trevor, and you can find that on our page. But I do believe in Trevor. I think he's going to have a better team around him. The offensive line is improved. So let's hope that Doug Peterson can kind of shape his career a little bit better.
Oh, Dougie. Oh, Trey.
Dave Dixon just commented, by the way, and this is a great point. Dave Dixon just said, Zach and I were in the finals last year because Dave is in one of our follower leagues, one of our follower dynasty leagues. He said, we were in the finals last year, and neither of us had Adams or Henry. So you don't always win just because you have a win now team. It's a good point. This is not tight end premium. We are going to do a tight end premium draft on Thursday night, though, if you guys want to join us. Alan says driving and mocking. Oh no, don't tell us that.
I don't know. That's okay. I thought you were going to take Tua.
Tua wasn't available.
Sorry, I thought you were going to take Tua at the 3-8.
I was thinking about it.
I thought you were going to take him there and then get a wide receiver on the turn, because some decent wide receivers. You could have had Deontay, DJ Moore. I don't know which way you would have gone.
I'm not a Deontay guy.
For sure. And I'm just saying,
don't think Godwin would have been there. I could be wrong, but
I'm rolling Jamin.
Yeah, I don't think Godwin would have been there. I could be wrong, but then I would have had to.
Godwin definitely wouldn't have been there, because I would have took Godwin if he fell to me.
Okay, there you go.
I would have took Godwin over Adams, and then I probably would have took Elijah Moore.
Okay.
It would have been the same, because Godwin is in my top.
Well, knowing that, I feel pretty happy with that decision then.
Yeah. I just thought you would solidify those quarterbacks early, but that's okay. Just a thought process.
Sure. Yeah. No. Maybe I would have done that in a different scenario, but Godwin was really the last guy I wanted to trust as my wide receiver 1. There is a teardrop after that for me. There's 1 or 2 other players there actually, but there was a teardrop, and I didn't really want to risk and wait and see what wide receiver was there. Whereas there was 3 quarterbacks on the board I was comfortable with taking next, and that is Tua, Trevor, and Mac Jones. So yeah, we see DJ Moore off the board, Gibson, Garrett Wilson, Akers, and Aaron Rodgers at the 4-12.
Interesting. I love Akers. You know me. Antonio Gibson, we just made a video about him as well. Buy or sell Antonio Gibson. I thought that was a very interesting video. That should be coming out soon this week as well. Lab in the chat said, how do you feel about guys like Tony, Elijah Moore, and Amon-Ra, who ran only a few spectacular weeks while they didn't have much competition in the wide receiver room? Well, for 2 of those guys, Elijah Moore, Kadarius Toney, they battled with injuries all throughout the year. Amon-Ra, he was healthy throughout the year. And I think we saw the Lions really struggling early, and then they got the stride even without TJ Hawkinson, without DeAndre Swift, and he got an opportunity. So there's a different conversation with all those guys. But Kadarius Toney and Elijah Moore dealt with injury, but when they were on the field, you saw how explosive they were and how explosive how they can be. For Elijah Moore specifically, I know a lot of people are worried about them drafting another wide receiver. I actually think that helps him. That helps Elijah Moore and helps Zach Wilson open up the field a little bit more, whether that's Drake London, whether that is whatever young wide receiver that comes in on that team. I think it can be very interesting.
Can I tell you worst case scenario for Elijah Moore? Worst case scenario for Elijah Moore is that they draft a Garrett Wilson or a Chris Olave or Jahan Dotson. Like, that is the worst case scenario for Elijah Moore. The best case scenario is that they do get a complementary piece, like you just mentioned, like a Drake London, like a Treylon Burks, maybe one of these big bodies that can really complement him.
I think that still helps. I think those guys still help because he would still be the wide receiver too. He still be.
I think it helps, but
those guys,
I don't think it's
those guys can stay
ideal by
outside.
any means.
Because what I see for Garrett Wilson, Treylon, and Jahan, all those guys are already used to playing on the inside and or the outside, which is fine. Where Elijah Moore, he was primarily in the slot. And now if they move him, that would be different. Which I hope they don't do. And I'm believing that they won't do that. But I still think that it's still complimentary for either of those guys as well. But yeah, Drake London, that is best case scenario because we know what he is going to go there and do, at least as an expectation. He's going to be the big dude that's going to contest the catch where Elijah Moore is going to be in the slot.
I think target share wise though, and the way that they both play, I do feel like Wilson would. I don't think that would be beneficial for Elijah Moore.
Right.
I don't think that would help his fantasy outlook. Those kind of wide receivers, but I could be wrong. So we see Akers go, then ETN at the 5.2. ETN at the 5.2 is really great value. I'm very curious to see what sort of wide receivers Blue is going to have. Zach Wilson at the 5.3, then Derek Carr at the 5.4. Saquon, and then Judy off the board. Long Lake says, I'm bullish on Zach Wilson this year. Went and got my guy of the draft, like what the Jets are doing. Yeah, I like what the Jets are doing too. They have quite a few picks in the first and second round. I'm pretty sure they have 35, and they have. So there was a scenario that I saw on Twitter where, let's say they take Drake London at 10, they take Breece Hall at 35. All of a sudden, that offense looks a little bit differently, doesn't it?
Look, I'm really excited for this Jets team. I'm a believer of this Jets team. Zach Wilson, Elijah Moore, even whatever that rookie whether it's a wide receiver is going to come, Michael Carter. There's so much talent. It's a young team that's growing. I believe in the head coach. I think they're going in the right direction. It's going to be a tough, and they have to score. Mac Jones and freaking Josh Allen are tough teams, so they're going to have to score. They're going to have to throw the ball. There's going to be a lot of opportunities there. So we're definitely going to wait and see how that looks. But I really like the Jets and the pieces around them. You're on the clock here.
I am on the clock here, and I'm going to grab someone that I think we are all undervaluing. Yes, I'm a Washington fan, but Terry McLaurin hasn't had a quarterback this good. And I know that that sounds weird. I know I was hard on Carson Wentz, but I do think he is the best quarterback that Terry will have played with so far. So I think we're undervaluing him. To me, I understand the Carson Wentz hate, but it's weird to me that he's going later now that Carson's there than when we didn't have Carson and we had Taylor Heineke. So I'm comfortable with Terry there. I think he's about to get a big extension, so I'll take him as my wide receiver 2 here at the 5.8. Then Burks goes out the board at the 5.9.
Yeah, I'm interested in Terry. That's the guy we need to do a buy or sell on. I need to do some more research on Terry and how I'm feeling, because I can tell you right now, I'm not liking Terry. Not because of Carson Wentz, just because every single year just felt like he was supposed to be this top guy getting all these targets, which he did. He was getting these things, but it just still felt very underwhelming.
I understand people's concerns, but again, I don't think we've had a quarterback like Carson Wentz in quite some time, and Terry hasn't played with a quarterback like that. If you look at QBR alone, I mean, Carson was quite efficient. Yes, the offense was definitely centered around Jonathan Taylor, but I think there's enough weapons here in Washington to allow Carson to succeed as well, and it is a good offensive line there. So last year, top 6 offensive line. We lose Brandon Sheriff, but they'll probably find a way to try and replace him there. Adam had a question. He said, do you think Gibson doesn't have a breakout year and we all see his value go down in Dynasty? I think he's a candidate to trade now while he has good value still. Adam, we have a video coming out in the next couple of days about Antonio Gibson. It's a buy or sell. So I think we should reserve our thoughts for that video because our thoughts are very perfectly thought out and presented there.
That's great that he took. Okay, so I'm going to take Elijah Mitchell. I'm going to Monroe St. Brown and Elijah Mitchell here, my first running back at the 6.2. I think that's decent for me, being my first running back. So I like where it's going. Maybe
Yeah, I
I'll
definitely get where you're
start
coming from, IO. I mean, look, when you have a guy like Jonathan Taylor on your team, you should be running the ball a lot. I mean, you definitely should be centered around the run. It would be a mistake to not be centered around the run. Jasmine does not like Judy over McLaurin, excuse me. Lockett was extended, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Lockett was extended.
I
He
thought
was
he was
extended last year, but I still think he's a prime trade candidate.
Tyler Lockett's.
By the way, Kirk Cousins at the 6'3" feels like pretty good value for Team 10 who punted the position. So that feels like pretty good value there for you. All right, I'm going to probably grab Josh Jacobs here.
Give it to JJ.
You guys know how much I love Josh Jacobs. We released a video from free agency winners and losers. I'm just going to double check my rankings here. But I think Josh Jacobs would be the next player I would want to draft here. And he is indeed. So I'm going to go ahead and grab JJ here. He's going to be my running back too. I'm very excited about what JJ could do in this offense. It's going to be a much more efficient offense. I think there's going to be more scoring opportunities. You know, you can go watch free agency winners and losers if you want to hear my full thoughts on JJ, but I feel like we could see, maybe not to the extent that Mixon had this year, but a Mixon type year where there's just so many scoring opportunities, and I think Josh Jacobs is a very good running back. So, again, I'm not saying he will have that same year, but I do think we could see another top 8 year from JJ this year.
Drew with a super chat. Thank you so much, brother. Keep McLaurin or Elijah Mitchell in full PPR.
Oh, that's weird that nothing came up, Badaki.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe it's gonna come up. We're gonna see.
Oh, there it is.
Is it working?
Joseph, thank you for the $2 super chat, brother. You didn't have to do that. Appreciate the love. Keep McLaurin or Elijah Mitchell in full PPR. I would probably lean Terry McLaurin, but I think Badaki, you might see that differently. I don't know.
This is
if
tough.
I had to choose one.
This is tough. I would say I can answer this. I would say Mitchell.
Okay. You feel more confident about Mitchell's future than McLaurin?
I don't feel confident in either of them's future.
Okay.
But I think the value right now, if you were to have, I don't know. It's a tough one. I think people don't want to spend a lot for Terry right now. Hypothetically, I know you said you had to keep one. So if you had to keep one and then trade one, I think you can get more for Elijah Mitchell. That's how I'm thinking about it. Elijah Mitchell can see a little bit less of work depending on if they were to draft another running back. We don't know, or if his workload goes down. But at the moment, there's no signs of that. But at the same time, we never know what happens in the 49ers backfield. And Terry, another year can happen where it just once again feels underwhelming, and then he's another year older. You know, I mean, and it's iffy. He's gonna be 27. Can he hit a top 15, top 20? And it's gonna be like, oh, it didn't happen again. And it's like, shit. Well, what can I get for him? Yeah. And no one's gonna want to take Terry. So it's tough.
The issue is like, so I understand the McLaurin hate. I understand the scary Terry hate here, but guys,
it's not hate. It's just worry.
No, I get it. But think about this: what Terry has done with what quarterbacks? Think about it. Since he's come into the league, it's been Dwayne Haskins, a one-legged Alex Smith, a Kyle Allen, a Taylor Heineke.
It feels like it's going to be too late until he finally gets a quarterback and he's going to be at that time.
So I guess you can see it from that perspective, but at the same time, I am more impressed with what he has done. I mean, go look at how efficient those quarterbacks were. Every year, Washington has been bottom 2 for quarterback efficiency. So I feel like McLaurin is definitely the guy to choose. Maybe I'm a little bit biased, but I would be keeping Terry. And
no, I can definitely see
it only takes one injury for that 49ers backfield to completely change. What happens if Mitchell misses 3 games and then Jeff Wilson is just balling out, or some other rookie that they draft? I mean, the confidence I have in Terry being a big part of fantasy for a long time compared to Mitchell, I just have a little bit more confidence in him. But I'm not downplaying Mitchell either, because I do think the most likely scenario is that he is going to be their starter going forward. Because you look at Kyle Shanahan, yeah, he's done this constantly revolving door with a running back, but also he's never really had a young guy. It's mostly been through free agency that he's done that. So,
yeah, we just gotta wait and see what happens. And I think I'm going off of.
By the way, just quickly, sorry, Isaac makes a great point. They did not invest much in Mitchell, so
Sure.
It's a good point. I mean, what was he, a 5th, 6th round pick? But look, we're all just giving an opinion here.
Yeah, and I think that's what's so hard to kind of gauge it. Like if it's all hypotheticals right now, and we just don't know what happened. Yeah, you can go based off draft capital or the situations, and I that's why I'm saying it's a hard question. I think I would try to go Elijah Mitchell and then try to see how I can sell him if that was the scenario. Yeah. But at the moment, I do believe Elijah Mitchell feels like the most valuable player over Terry at the moment because I just don't. He's been in the league longer, and he's just really hasn't proven it.
Everything's worked out for Mitchell.
Being up there,
everything's worked out for him, right? He's been in one of the best run offenses in the NFL. There have been injuries that have allowed him to shine. So I don't know. He's not really faced a ton of adversity there in San Francisco for his position. All right, London and Henry Hawkinson, Kenneth Walker at the 6'12", feels like pretty good value there. Darren Waller, Jamison Williams, Michael Carter, Dallas Goedert, Alvin Kamara in the 7th round, pretty good value, and then Keenan Allen at the 7'6". Now back in 82 is on the board.
Back in 82. Back in 82.
Hey, 74 people watching, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. It means a lot. If you have not dropped a like.
You like that? You like that?
You could help us out. Maybe we could reach that goal today of 100 likes. No pressure.
Like that?
All right, I'm on the board here, and Amari Cooper just went. And to be honest, I was really hoping that one player in particular might fall to me here in the 7th round. I wanted to grab one of my favorite rookies here, and that is Chris Olave. So I'm going to go ahead and draft Chris Olave here at the 7-8. My wide receiver 3 in the class. I'm really excited about Olave, and I think he could land in a very favorable position. If Washington doesn't grab him, I mean, we could see him in Green Bay. We could see him maybe in Kansas City. So I think Olave is going to find himself, while he probably won't go top 10 like maybe Wilson might, I think Olave could find himself in a very favorable position there. Then Mike Evans and D-Hop go off the board.
Okay. This may feel a little early for some people, but I'm actually going to take... I'm going to take Lenny here.
Okay.
At the 7-11. I don't think he will come back to me at the 9th, in my opinion. So for me to solidify my second running back here, I think I'm okay with Lenny going right there for me.
All right. 3-year contract. Hard to keep up with the chat here, but I love that there's some conversations back to back. Looks like everyone's having some good chats. Stephen Day says, kind of weird question, but do you guys think these rookies are getting picked at around the value of the respective rookie draft picks, like 101 for CMC? Yeah, I guess so. I think if you think about it, if the person, let's say that you're already in a league, would someone send the 101 for CMC, or would someone be okay sending CMC for the 101? I think that's a good conversation, and I think there could be valid points on both sides. But yeah, you will see rookies go. This is probably where you'll see some of these rookies go, right, in the real drafts. I mean, I know we're probably going to be viewing them as reaches, but a lot of these rookies are going to go here. People fall in love with rookies, and they want the upside.
This is tough. I need to really reevaluate this. Show me something. I'm just checking my rankings, see if I really want to do this. This is tough because these guys all fall in the same tier, but I think that's okay. I'll take Tony.
Kadarius Toney off the board, ladies and gentlemen.
We'll see how that goes. I have a couple people on my queue. Show me something. Ladies and same value. Yeah, I don't mind letting here as my RB2 at the 7th round. I do believe he can go even probably a round higher. I think we can see him sneak maybe mid 7th, 7-5, kind of where Alvin Kamara went, maybe even early 7th. But getting him there at the 7-Eleven, I think it's fantastic for me at this very moment.
All right, there's a certain player that I'm really wanting to fall to me here. So let's see if it's Heartbreak. 2 picks away.
2 picks away. Let's see it.
Yeah. And everyone here is in Patreon, so they have access to my rankings. That's a fat GG's.
I'm going to check it right now. Let's see. I'm calling it out, guys. That's definitely not the guy. Zach Haytham.
Yeah, you guys know it wasn't Spiller for me. All right. I'm pretty happy with this because I was considering. Let me just make sure. I mean, I was considering a Hollywood Brown at the 6'5", genuinely. You guys know I love Hollywood. I'm a big Hollywood guy. But the fact that Rashad Bateman is still on the board here and I can get him almost 2 rounds later, I feel fantastic about that. He's my wide receiver 4. I still believe in the talent. I like the flashes I saw last year. So I'm going to grab Rashad Bateman here at the 8'5", and he's going to be my 4th wide receiver. I like this wide receiver room. And honestly, I'm starting to like the team. It's not my favorite, but I'm starting to like it. I can see the pieces we're building here.
And that's the guy I was going back and forth with Rashad Bateman and Tony. I probably went the home route. Excuse me, the home route there. But
I sent you a trade just like that in a league, and you denied it. So maybe your thought process has changed.
No, it's not that my thought process changed. It's just like I was going back and forth. I do believe the talent. I know Bateman's situation right now is better. Maybe I'm playing the long haul with Kadarius Toney, hoping that a quarterback is going to be coming here in the near future in 2023. Right. So that's kind of why I took him. And plus, he's a Giant. Yeah, and I'm a Giants fan. Like I said, it's probably more of home biased. But I think maybe it's a wrong answer, but at the moment, it doesn't feel like a wrong answer. But.
Yeah. Nathan, appreciate that, bro. Appreciate that. AJ says the fact that Sleeper has Zeke higher than Jones, Connor, or Linney is stupid. I would take any of those 3 over Zeke. If people take ADP seriously, I wouldn't invest much more. Let's talk to Sleeper Marcus. Hey, Sleeper Marcus, if you're watching this later, let's figure out that ADP with Zeke.
He hasn't been here in a while.
Steven says, thanks for your thoughts. I think the narrative that this isn't a good class seems to have dropped if these rookies are going in these spots. I think the narrative that this isn't a good class, I don't know if we fed into that or not. If we did, that's our bad. But I think a lot of people have been saying that around the Twitter sphere. I don't think it's a bad class. I just think it's a bad... Like, the wide receivers in this class, I love the wide receivers in this class. There are probably 2 running backs I'm really in love with in this class, and that's only Breece and Walker. But I think it's the quarterbacks that we just don't like.
Yeah, I think it was the comparison of the quarterbacks from the year before to now. I was like, oh shit, like there could have been 5-6 quarterbacks that like, all right, I got options. Yep. Where now, like, we don't know who it feels like it's only Malik, or Kenny, but like if that really depends on where they fall. Where it didn't matter where any of these guys fell. At least it felt like to us. At least maybe right now, it didn't feel like where these guys fell.
Oh, come on, dude.
Didn't matter where Justin Fields fell. Didn't matter where Trey Lance fell. As long as they had a starting opportunity, these guys were going to peak and be amazing, and it just wasn't the case.
Yeah.
So interesting.
Blue just commented in the Sleeper chat, take tight ends late, noted. Yeah, so with this not being a tight end premium draft, this isn't tight end premium. So I think we're probably going to be talking about that in draft grades. The fact that we did invest so much into these tight ends early on. I'm just going to pause the draft real quick after this pick and make it 30 seconds.
All good. Got Michael Gallup, Dalton Schultz, and then Cortland Sutton. SD Perk took a guy that I've been trying to trade. I've been trying to get off him in one of our follower leagues because SD Perk is in one of our follower leagues. I've been messaging him for the last couple of days, trying to get Cortland Sutton off his hands because I do believe something special is going to happen with Cortland Sutton. At least I hope so. We also made a video not on him, but on. He was part of what was it? Value picks, I think Cortland Sutton was, or guys you should trade for now, win now trades. Brandon Ayuk, Kenny Pickett, Aaron Jones, and George Pickens goes off the board here.
All right, so Blue says, you know what? I'm gonna take 2 rookie quarterbacks. One of these guys got to hit. I like it. I mean, look, at the 8th round, yeah, take a shot. Pickens in the 9th feels that is hot. That is hot.
Man's not hot, never hot.
Man's not hot, never hot, yeah? LL Stang's on the clock. Let's see what he does. Allen Robinson in the 9th round. That is going to be one of the best picks
That's his 5th wide receiver in this draft as well. Like, that's crazy.
And this almost helps him become like a win now hybrid as well. He definitely needs a better RB2. But, with the youth of Wilson and Higgins and then the, veteran Cup and Robinson, he kind of building a little hybrid there. Perk's on the board. Uh-oh. Is it an auto? It's an auto.
GG's.
Welcome, A.J. Dillon. Come on down. Dave says, I want to trade for the 105. I've got a 2024 first. What else should I put with it? Ugh. I mean, what does the guy who has a 105 want? I don't think many people are going to be, I guess for me, like I'm thinking in my perspective, if I had the 105 and someone's sending me a 2024 first, I know there's going to be good players in 2024, but do I want to wait that long for that investment? And if the team isn't a futuristic team, I don't think that they would be interested in that. But maybe find out if there's a small piece that they might want.
Yeah, man.
Maybe find out if there's a small piece that they might want. Apparently, this might be Badaki's team that we're talking about here. I don't know.
He sent me. I'll tell everyone. He sent me a trade. He's trying to get the 105, and he's trying to send me the 2024. And every time I see that, I just like, in my mind, it's like I look at it, it's like I just disregard it. But I'm bad at responding. So I will respond to you right here, right now. Let me look at your team. Give me a sec.
All right, I'm gonna draft Juju here at the 9-8. I like his situation around him, and if he does have a great year, which I expect him to have a great year here, then I think his trade value might be even higher next year. Who knows?
Let me look at your team. It's hard because that 105 for me is really, really valuable. I'm looking for a top 5 talent here.
There goes Jahan Dotson off the board. Yeah, you think about it. I mean, that's pretty much what it takes to acquire Juju. Jahan Dotson's around the 201, 202 into the first, so that makes a lot of sense there.
Dave, these are people that I am interested in. Not saying they are worth the 105, but I'm just interested in. So if these guys can somehow be included in this draft,
you're on the clock.
This will be
28 seconds.
I'm on the clock, and it's okay. And I have a queue. I'm gonna take Ramondre Stevenson, my RB3 here. Let me just get somebody else on the queue here really fast. Hold on. Let me be outside too long. Rondell, Gabriel Davis, bro. I had him on the freaking queue.
Which one?
Let me come here. I had Gabriel Davis on the queue. It's okay. I'm gonna go tight end here. I'm gonna go Dawson Knox. I go Dawson. Yeah, I'll go.
Are you
Dawson.
worried about the arrival of OJ Howard at all? Think that's gonna impact him?
I don't think so. I think I don't think so at the moment. It doesn't feel like it's a big impact for me. Maybe he's gonna go there and block. He's a big body dude. Maybe he goes there and block. And Dawson Knox is more of a maybe he plays. Not that he plays a slot, but he can be kind of lined up anyway. OJ's not a very good
blocker, though. I mean, he's more of an athlete. He's not a very good blocker. But it's only a 1-year deal. I'm not saying to be scared of Dawson, but it's just interesting for this year. It might be frustrating.
So once again, Dave, these are not people that I'm saying I want. These are the people that I'm interested in. Amon-Ra St. Brown. And I have a lot of picks in this draft. Amon-Ra St. Brown. I know some of these guys may be untouchables, but that's okay. I'll just let you know who I'm interested in. Amon-Ra St. Brown. Just
quickly, sorry. I'm going to take Tony Pollard here. I know a lot of people aren't going to like this with Damian Harris on the board, but I really do believe that the split between Zeke and Tony closes even more this year, and I like him on this team there in Dallas, so I'm going to grab him. He's my RB3. I'm okay with that.
St. Brown, I see Javonte Williams, which I know that's going to be tough. I don't mind Monty. Well, I had Michael Pittman. I traded that to you. Those are really the people I'm really interested in. That and the 2023 first. But I don't know I know you don't want to do that. You have a lot of 2023 first, and I know you don't want to get rid of those. So that's why it's tough for me. But let me know.
Let me know. Steven and Pollard over Damian Harris. I know, man. I know. Look, the difficult thing about Damian, and I guess for me, like I do have Stevenson and Damian in very similar. And honestly, Docky, I would have taken Sanders over Stevenson if we're being 100% transparent. But or sorry, I would have taken Miles Sanders over Stevenson.
I know who you were talking about because I saw him there too.
But on Damian, it is really difficult to see a situation where he's signed long term. The Bill Belichick, like they don't sign running backs long term. Remind me if I've forgotten when the last time it is that the Patriots have extended a running back. It's hard, man. And then is he a talented enough player to get a long term deal somewhere else? I don't know. Maybe he is. I like him, but it's one of those guys I just don't know exactly where to value him.
For me, I see Miles, Damian, and Ramondre kind of. Sorry, I see Miles and Damian kind of in the same boat, right? Because if you look at Damian Harris's contract, Zach always says this. It's kind of hard to see that running back re-sign. It's kind of hard to see Miles Sanders re-sign with the Eagles. Maybe he goes to a better situation. Which is great, and that's better upside because we know his talent. And then Damian Harris, I agree with what he was saying. So, and I do see Ramondre being a pass catching back, maybe coming in, relieving some touches, and that's why he's my RB3, and I'm okay with that moving forward. But yeah, I can see the argument for Miles and Damian.
Ramondre and Miles are the same age, by the way, and I know that the contracts look a little bit different. But for me, I do think Miles is the pick there, and I agree. 2 months ago, I would have agreed with you and said, you know what, it's probably unlikely that they re-sign him. However, look at how cheap it is to re-sign some of these running backs now. I think we have to think about that because Connor, his contract is cheap. Same with Lenny. So like these guys who are re-signing these 3-year deals, I think that's the way the NFL is going to move towards. I mean, even Saquon. I don't see him getting a Dalvin Cook type deal, an Alvin Kamara, a Zeke type deal. He's probably going to get, a 3-year deal, kind of similar to these James Conner type players. So I do think Sanders is the pick there, but I get where you're coming from.
Yeah, sorry, I was reading the chat. Dave was like, I got you. I mean, don't mean to strong arm you, but somehow your wedding is taking over priority over fantasy football.
Yeah, what the hell, man? What's going on?
Sometimes you have to.
Figure it out.
It's crunch time, boys. In less than 30 days, I'm going to be, I'm not walking down the aisle, but I'm going to be at an aisle saying I do. And that's crazy. The thought process, I've been to so many weddings. It's like, you know what? Like, damn, I can't wait until that's me. That's me.
That's me.
This time it's me. And that's crazy. And that's weird. That's weird to say until I'm actually there. But yeah.
Made it. Yeah, I made it.
You're at the top, Dave.
I'm going to take Trey McBride here as my tight end 1.
Give it a Trey.
11.8. I'll take it. Yeah, boys getting married. Come on, bro.
I know, that's crazy. Thanks, everyone. Appreciate you. Yeah, it's just so much stuff still needs to happen, but it's all coming together.
Yeah, it'll figure it out. I remember it was like that for us. Just everything was kind of crazy. Apparently, Jasmine was able to trade before the year. He was able to trade, or she was able to trade, excuse me, Damian Harris for Jalen Waddle, and that is just highway robbery. Congratulations.
Yeah, that's next level.
Roberto, right, so Bobby Trees, I mean, that's a bit higher than what we've seen him going, Badaki. Typically, he's been going around, around 14, 15.
Yeah, I mean, our wide receiver 2 there in this offense, I mean, he was always wide receiver 2, and then he kind of, we'll see. This is a tough spot. I don't know where to go here. I have this person on my queue, and I don't want to take him right now, but I feel like I have to. I'm just gonna take Nico. I'm just gonna take Nico. I don't know who to go here. This is where it gets really tough because you believe in so many people
feel like,
here.
Man, Nico. I know you love him.
I really like Nico.
I
really like him.
I just can't get on board there.
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know who to go. Do I take Calvin? Sit? No. Then I can go this guy. I'll put him on my queue right now. Let's see. Let's go running backs. This is a tough one. This is where you really just gotta shoot your shot, huh?
Daniel Jones in the 12th round.
Give it Danny Dimes. I'm gonna take Thielen.
Adam Thielen.
It's not. It's not. I need to like do more study on after the 10th.
Mm-hmm.
Like I need to start drafting with purpose after the 10th. I mean, I always do, but like I don't know how to explain it.
Well, you guys know that. I mean, I don't want to say anything just yet because I'm gonna see what happens at my pick. I'll wait until certain players get selected to discuss them. Let's see what happens here. D. Lawrence. Take a shot from me. Okay, so here's the deal. I was kind of against drafting Tom Brady not too long ago, but that's because he was in like the 9th round. But to be honest, it just feels dumb for me not. Like, why the hell would I not draft Tom Brady here in a Superflex league? Why would I not spend a 12th round pick for 1 or 2 years of Tom Brady? I'm absolutely going to make this pick here, and maybe trade value is better mid-season. Maybe he takes me to the playoffs. To me, I just feel like the 12th round could be such a wasted pick, but I know who Brady is for as long as he plays. So I'm more than happy to make that 12th round selection there.
No, that's definitely a good pick on oversight, and I think that's gonna change very soon. Bucky Brooks just changed, just did a mock draft, and no quarterback was going in the first.
Yeah, I think sometimes people do that just for like the pub, you know. Okay, Calvin Ridley went at the 12-7 again. This is a guy who I have claimed is a great late round draft value because Calvin Ridley, while he's 27, he'll be 28 next year, and he will be a free agent if I'm not mistaken. He'll definitely be on a different team, and there's no way that you can tell me a 28 Calvin Ridley in next year's startups is going to be at the 12-7. Next year, Calvin Ridley, you're going to be drafting him pretty much around where around Keenan, Mike Evans, Williams, Renfro. Like, you're going to see Calvin Ridley being drafted here with whatever team he goes to next year. When I look at players in the 12th round who I feel almost certain that their value is going to be higher next year, Calvin Ridley is one of those players for me. So if it wasn't Tom Brady, I was going to go Calvin Ridley there. I love that pick. And you have to be patient with it, but I think it's well worth your time.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm on the other side where like I don't know if I want to sit on Calvin for. I mean, I have him on my team. You kind of have to sit, but me drafting him and sitting him, I think I would.
But
it'll be tough for me to do that. It'll be tough for me to do that, and I don't know if I want to.
Adam Thielen, bro. I mean, Adam Thielen was 31 years old.
No, for sure. I completely agree, but we have no idea if Calvin's going to come back.
He will come back.
Yeah, I mean, we say that now, and then next year, you know what? Calvin really retires, or he doesn't want to play anymore, or
anyone could retire. Anyone could retire at any point, but I mean, Calvin's definitely going to come back. Mm-hmm. All right, there goes Carson Wentz.
I think it's tough for me to take him, and I'm more of like I'd rather just avoid it.
I don't know, man. You look at everyone who went in the 12th round. Who has a better chance of having more value next year in startups?
Adam Thielen could. If he plays. Won't. If he plays, you never know though. You don't know that.
I know that because he'll be 32 next year.
Oh, and I don't know if Calvin really is going to come back next year.
Okay, well, I just. Think
that's what I'm saying.
That's okay.
But that's what you just said. I was just saying, like he's like, no, I can guarantee you can come back. It's like, oh well, like you don't know that. And I was like, well, you don't know if Adam Thielen can be better or higher. I don't know. Anyways,
okay. It's okay to say we made the wrong pick.
I'm not saying I'm. Oh, okay, yeah. Anyways, if that's how you feel,
it's all right, man. I make the wrong picks all the time in these mocks. And if you don't feel like it's the wrong pick, that's fine. But I think Calvin Ridley is going to be way more valuable than Thielen next year. Jimmy G off the board, Wentz off the board, Trubisky, Brian Robinson, Quandre or Zamir, probably Zamir White off the board there. Mm-hmm. It is Zamir. Then Matt Ryan goes off the board. I made it. Yeah, I made it. Yes, his contract will be pushed forward. So whenever he does get traded or released or whatever that looks like, he'll be able to sign a new contract there. So then Albert O goes off the board. I was definitely considering Albert O with my next pick there.
Albert, are you okay? Hey, okay.
All right, I'm gonna take Alec Pierce here. I definitely have started to fall more and more in love with Alec Pierce. I think he's gonna get good draft capital, so I'll take him there as my 6th wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
AJ says Zach has the best team so far. I don't know, maybe. We'll have to look at everyone's teams here in these draft grades soon. But I made it. Yeah, I made it.
James
First I
Robinson.
made you who you are, and then I made it. All right, J-Rob's off the board.
Take a shot for me.
Winston's off the board. Now Badaki's on the clock, and Ronald Jones is a fantastic pick there.
Taking Rojo here.
Yeah, that's a
Give it a
fantastic
Clyde.
pick, and maybe ADP is gonna change here soon, with guys like Ronald Jones and Brady, and maybe we won't be able to get them this late.
I think yeah, it's gonna go a lot earlier for both of these guys, potentially Ronald Jones and Russell Gage. Once we understand their workload, it's gonna be interesting with Ronald Jones there. I don't know how they're gonna use him. I guess the expectation is he's gonna be the first and second, and Clyde is gonna be the pass catching back.
That would make a lot of sense. I think that would make a lot of sense.
It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, Ronald Jones is a great pick there.
Once over the other QBs, the round seems ridiculous.
I'm on the board here, and
Yeah, I made it. Jordan Love, Zach Ertz, and then Jordan Love.
I'm gonna go Kyron Williams here. At the 14th round, let's see if he can carve a roll out for himself. Still like him as a player, but obviously didn't have the best combine. Wentz over the other quarterbacks that round seems ridiculous. So Wentz went over Trubisky, Ryan. I don't know. I'm okay with Wentz there. I mean, Trubisky, there's no guarantee that he's improved. Ryan is he 39? Winston, I'm not in love with Winston. I think you can make a case for any of those quarterbacks there personally, Badaki.
Yeah, I think you can definitely make a case. I'll definitely take a shot on Matt Ryan. But Carson Wentz, I think Carson Wentz has, what's Carson Wentz's contract?
He had 3 years left.
He has 3 years left on his contract.
29 years old.
You think you'll keep him for 3 years?
I mean, maybe the contract's not very bad when you consider the space right now.
Right. Like the cap hit versus if you were to move forward from Carson Wentz.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, who knows? Like, the only way we keep him is if he turns his career around. So it's hard to say right now. But I mean, at this point, he is making. He's making, I think, 20 million or something. 20 is it 28 million right now? I think. So obviously not what he's worth. But it's pretty respectable. All right, Gesicki's on the board. Gordon, Hunter Henry, Josh Palmer, and Jacoby Myers, and this is the last round here soon.
Van Jefferson. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I mean, I guess you take you're gonna have to eat his cap if you do draft a quarterback, and then that quarterback becomes the starter. Obviously, like
we could cut Wentz if we needed to, for sure.
Yeah.
Cut or trade him.
Sheesh, imagine you guys just like, nah, we're gonna ride his contract.
It really just depends on if he's good or not. If he plays well and he can turn around his career, then yeah, I don't have a problem with it. If he's not, then we'll move on.
You wouldn't want the rookie? You wouldn't want the rookie to do that?
Sorry?
You wouldn't want them to draft a rookie quarterback then, or
I'd be fine
like if he has a
rookie quarterback.
If he has a really good year, like he takes the team to the playoffs, maybe wins a playoff game, loses, and then like you're okay with him not drafting a quarterback.
Sure.
The year
yeah,
after.
if he's shown that he can be a reliable quarterback. Right, all we're looking for is reliability there.
Just need a reliable quarterback. Daniel Jones, reliable.
Degenerate Goat says, what are the odds the NFL makes Calvin Ridley suspension longer than a year? I don't think there's any odds of that. Everyone's already talking about how it's too long. So
Yeah.
I don't think that happens, but we could be wrong. AJ Pena says athletic ability, arm talent, decision making, and quick twitch. That's Ron Rivera on Carson Wentz. Yeah, I mean, look, this is the year where Wentz either revives his career or he dies. It's pretty simple. He either revives it or he dies. Njoku's a fantastic pick there as well at the 15-6. Well done.
David Njoku.
All right, there is a player that I want here, so let's see if he gets taken or not.
Yeah, Bader. Jericho.
All right, I'm going to take Brevin Jordan here. I like Brevin Jordan, and I think he could have a breakout year, so I'll take him here at the 15-8. Right, okay, AJ, I get it. Not on Wentz, but what he wanted.
Right, okay.
Okay, well, I don't know if that's fair, though. Like, what if Wentz can recover what he was when he was on the Eagles in his good days? I think all that would be there. But we'll have to wait and see. It's definitely a make-or-break year. All right, let's do some draft grades.
Yeah, exactly. The one you want to go first? I'll go first.
Okay.
Jay Stump. Josh Allen. Dang, it's pouring outside. Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers, Carson Wentz with CMC, Kenneth Walker, Aaron Jones, Chase Edmonds, Cordell Patterson, Khalil Herbert. Then you got Jalen Waddle, Devonta Smith, George Pickens, Christian Watson, Brandon Cooks with Mr. Darren Waller. Your quarterbacks are good. I think that's okay. Your running backs, look, it makes sense. CMC and Aaron Jones. This is an older team. It's kind of a mix because you have. I think this is it's weird because your wide receivers are young. Pretty much all of them besides Brandon Cooks, but then your running backs are old besides Kenneth Walker. So it's a little bit tough to see the identity of this team. Overall, this team is all right. I definitely would have done something differently. I don't think I would have taken Kenneth Walker at the 6-12. I would have taken him there over Derrick Henry. Sorry, over Michael Carter, potentially Alvin Kamara. Maybe I would take him there to maybe.
I just want to throw a thought out there. With Rodgers, us not knowing if it's a year-by-year contract or how long he's going to be there, would it have made sense maybe to take Derek Carr? Would that have helped?
I guess the expectation is that
define the team maybe, but Rodgers is obviously the better player. I'm just trying to throw out ideas.
No, for sure. I think it's tough because once again can't really see the identity of the team. It's kind of everywhere. Yeah, maybe taking one of these younger quarterbacks there over Aaron Rodgers, but I guess he's hoping that Aaron Rodgers stays here for longer. He signed
at least enough there to win now too.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. That's why it's hard. Like the pieces are there, but like everything else is like it just falls off.
Yeah.
So it's kind of all around team. For me, this is a B-, C+. That's how I'm feeling for this team.
All right, Blue. We got Justin Herbert, Pickett, Corral, and Mills. So outside of that quarterback there with Herbert, there's a lot of questions in that quarterback room. More questions than answers in Superflex. Our running backs are Breece Hall, Cam Akers, Travis Etienne, and our wide receivers. This is really, really rough here with these wide receivers. Jameson Williams. While I love Jameson Williams, I don't want him to be my number one wide receiver in Dynasty. We have Michael Thomas, who since that injury, I personally don't think he's ever going to be the same player. And then our third wide receiver on our team is Justin Ross. We got Boyd, Jefferson, Tolbert. I mean, we just have a ton of like wide receiver 4 and 5s on the team. And we got 2 tight ends. It's not tight end premium, so maybe I would view this a little bit differently if it was tight end premium, of course. But if you're going to spend as early of a pick as the 3-2 on a tight end, you certainly can't spend the 6-11. Like these are very, very important picks for the construction of your team. So maybe the 6-11 is a Keenan Allen or a better wide receiver. But for me, I don't think you need the tight ends like this in a non-tight end premium league. you're not really going to want to flex Hawkinson, based off of the inconsistencies we saw last year. Right. So I think that really hurts you. Your running backs are great, but the wide receiver room is really, really rough, as well as the secondary quarterback. We just don't know if these guys are going to be successful fantasy quarterbacks. So this is a pretty rough team for me, and I think we can fix it just by, making some different moves earlier on that set you up, that really help your position groups a little bit better. So I'm going to give this a C-. This is a C- team for me.
Okay. LL Mustang, Patrick Mahomes, Zach Wilson with Mitchell Trubisky. I like the room. I like the quarterback room. And then you have Cooper Kupp, T. Higgins, Garrett Wilson, Brandon Ayuk, Allen Robinson, and Jacoby Myers. I really like your wide receiver room. I think this is really, really strong wide receiver room. Excuse me. Then you have Derrick Henry, Michael Carter back, Rashad Penny, Alexander Madison, and Tyler Algier, however you like to say it, and then Cole Kmet. Wide receiver rooms are definitely strong. And then you go to your running backs, which I do like Michael Carter. I like Rashad Penny at the 10-10. I think I would have taken these guys didn't fall to you, so that's a little bit tough. I would have tried and maybe taken one of these other running backs, Miles Sanders, because Derrick Henry, I think the thought process is that, he's going to be done after maybe not this year, but in 2 years. So maybe you do have some life.
I really think we're going to see the decline this year already, but I could be wrong. I mean, he's a monster.
Yeah, I mean, it's so tough, and I think like your team was building so young that you took Derrick Henry there, and it just makes it very confusing. So if you were to have taken a Michael Carter, and it's so hard because like the drop off of running backs is tremendous there, and it's so hard because you can't reach. Like you don't want to take Miles Sanders there at the 6'10", or you don't want to take Tony Pollard, even though he's young. So it's hard. So maybe that was the best option. Maybe you do go another wide receiver there and take Michael Carter, and you don't take Allen Robinson, and I don't know, maybe you go Michael Carter and Lenny Fournette if he were to fall to you somehow. But I do like this team. This is a really good team overall. I think the running back room is where it kind of falls off. I think you do have time to compete in the running back room as well still, because Rashad Penny does re-sign that contract.
I like the Penny pick, yeah.
Yeah, like it's weird. It's nice, but it's like, damn, like
it's kind of a hybrid though. I mean,
you could have hit.
I think maybe what would have been better is instead of Trubisky, you go Matt Ryan, because you just feel like Matt Ryan might be more reliable. I could be wrong, but maybe that sets you up a little bit better to be a try and win now, but also you have futuristic pieces. Yeah, it's a little bit difficult.
I think overall this team is good, and I think you can compete. You can't compete now, and you can win in the future or play in the future as well. So I'm gonna give this team a B, like a B plus. B plus. I like it there.
B flat feels fair. I do think that you made some really good value picks though with Robinson and Penny there. Those feel like great value.
Yeah.
All right, Perk.
That's a tough spot to be in, by the way. Like
really tough.
It's such a huge drop off there with the running backs.
Yeah.
With like talent, youth, and then age.
Longlake just said that Matt Ryan scares me with the Colts O-line. How about the Steelers O-line? Does that scare you? You know what I mean? Like, ooh. I don't know how Trubisky's going to do it. It's a great pick there, though, by the way. I mean, still, the 13-3, that's really good value. Take a shot. All right, SD Perk. We got Lamar Jackson, Derek Carr, Jimmy G. Our wide receivers are CeeDee Lamb, Deebo Samuel, Drake London, Cortland Sutton, Palmer Mechie. Our running backs are Gibson, Dillon, Clyde, Brian Robinson. Our tight ends are Goddard and Fant. This is a pretty well-rounded team all around. You know what I mean? Good quarterbacks. I like your quarterback room. Derek Carr feels like a very, very reliable quarterback, too, at this point. Wide receiver room, I like it with CeeDee Lamb and Deebo. Drake. There's some upside there with the rookie, with the unknown. I think Sutton's going to have a really, really great year as well, so his value should look a little bit different next year. Running back room, not the strongest. However, there's enough there to kind of figure it out post-draft. So you got Gibson, Dillon, Clyde, Robinson. I have to give you a grade based off of now. However, I do think that you can kind of, make moves to improve that running back room. But I don't really love Clyde at the 10-9 anymore. I mean, I've kind of been off the Clyde train for about a year now. And I think this year kind of solidified in my opinion, that he's not ever going to be a workhorse. I could be very wrong, but I don't think he's going to be a workhorse. So at the 10-9, I mean, I would rather take a chance on some other players. But it's still like that pick's not going to kill you or haunt you or anything. I like your tight ends. So this is a good overall team. I think the running back room is a little bit of probably the spot that you could point to, say the weakest, but it's a good team overall. I'm going to give this a B+. Okay. It's a strong B+.
Yeah, I don't mind the team. I like it. Team 5. So you have Deshaun Watson, Ryan Tannehill, and Sam Howell. Interesting. The thought process is Deshaun Watson misses 8 games, so you have Ryan Tannehill and Sam Howell starting for you.
So maybe it's just Tannehill starting.
Maybe it's just Tannehill starting, which is not the best, so that's tough. Then you have your wide receivers: AJ Brown, DK Metcalf, DJ Moore, David Bell with Chark doo. I like the first 3 wide receivers. I like David Bell. I like everything. I like the wide receiver room. That's strong. Saquon Barkley, Dalvin Cook, Alvin Kamara, Dameon Pierce, Zamir White. I think all these guys are great. I would definitely take them there. I think it depends on what direction you want to go. Obviously, it feels like more of a win now in the running back room and a futuristic in the wide receiver room. So it's a little bit confusing there. But I don't mind it. I mean, but look at the people who you could have gotten. You could have had a Nick Chubb, Elijah Mitchell, a Monty, a Josh Jacobs. A Michael Carter even at the 7-3, which is still fine. It really depends. There's so many different ways you could have built that.
Michael Carter was off the board at that Kamara pick. Jacobs was off the board at the Cook pick.
Well, I'm talking about you can take Michael Carter at the 7. Like that's what I'm saying. Like there's so many different.
Okay, right.
Yeah, sorry, 6-8. That's what I meant. But hypothetically, this is kind of ways that you could have gone. You could have took Jacobs at the 5-5. I know a lot of people aren't believing in Saquon. You could have took Monty at the, maybe it's too early,
Right.
But I do like the running back room. And then you have Dalton Schultz and Hunter Henry, which is great. I think that solidifies the room. So overall, this is a good team. Once again, it's a little bit confusing because you do have futuristic wide receivers and more of a win now running back room. And maybe you get a running back in the draft next year, which is okay because you do have those young guys down there with Dameon Pierce and Zamir White.
The thing I was going to quickly say is that if you're going to do this kind of team where your running backs are all win now, you got to have some quarterbacks that you can rely on. And right now, I mean, Tannehill is going to be your starter for the first 8 weeks or so. And
this is the realization for some people is like, you're going to have to draft. If you drafted Deshaun Watson, you need to get a Davis Mills, Mitch Trubisky, a Carson Wentz, a Matt Ryan, a Tom Brady, even if it's just for the year, for those 8 games for Deshaun Watson to come back if he does get an 8-game suspension, because that's a huge possibility that he will get suspended or that he probably will just be suspended, and you need to rely on that QB3. So overall, I think it's a decent team. I'm going to give it a B-.
Okay, B-. All right. Next team we have Saxter. You got Joe Burrow, Malik Willis, and Matt Ryan. Our running backs are Swift, Zeke, Kareem, The Dream, and Melvin. Our wide receivers are Deontay, Jerry Jeudy, Keenan Allen, Michael Gallup, Christian Kirk, Calvin Ridley. Our tight end is Kittle and Njoku. So the big question, really, the biggest question about your draft is what will we say about Malik Willis next year, right? Yeah. I mean, he either comes out and he starts and he balls, or he has a lot of question marks, and then we're looking at that 3-6 pick, which is a foundational pick for your team, and saying, dang, man, I mean, we could have had an elite running back, an elite wide receiver. So this team is difficult to grade because I do love Malik. I just don't know. There's 2 different ways it can go. You know what I mean? I mean, next year Malik could be going in the first round. He could be going in the first 7-8 picks. So there's a lot of risk reward there. But I think getting Swift at the 2-7 feels like really great value. Deontay Johnson at the 4-7 feels like good value, even though I'm not a huge lover of Deontay. I think your wide receiver room is pretty solid. Running back room is pretty solid. Outside of Swift, though, it is quite an old running back room. So maybe there's some trades that you can make happen. Tight end room is set. And then, with Malik, you do have the backup of Matt Ryan. However, Matt Ryan is 36 years old, so who knows how much longer we have Matt Ryan for. But I like the team. I think overall it's a really good team. That much risk with a top 3 pick does scare me. I really want to go after guys that I know are really, really good players with those first 3 picks. It's a little bit too early for me to take Malik. But again, like we could be looking back in a year from now and he's going in the first round. But we could also be looking back in a year from now and there's question marks like Zach Wilson. And we're like, do we take him in the 5th, 6th, 7th? You know what I mean? So I like the team. I'm going to give this just a B flat. It's honestly a B flat team for me.
Okay.
Because again, there is so much risk there. That's going to make or break the team. This could easily be an A if some of this hits.
Yeah, I agree. Malik is definitely, if it hits, that's fantastic. Back in '82, Kyler Murray, Mac Jones, and Jared Goff. The quarterback room is good. Najee Harris, James Conner, Damian Harris, and Rashad White. It's okay. I like James Conner at the A6. Good value. Damian Harris is well there for 1 year. Maybe he does go to another team. Maybe he gets extended, whatever the case may be. Interesting. We were talking about him earlier. Then you got Tyreek Hill, Michael Pittman, Hollywood Brown, Amari Cooper, Chase Claypool, and Sky Moore. Fantastic wide receiver room. All these guys I believe in. I like Tyreek Hill. It's going to be interesting to see what happens now with this new team. Michael Pittman gets a more consistent quarterback according to everyone. Hollywood Brown, Amari Cooper, and Chase Claypool. Wow, I love it. Amari Cooper, I mean, we'll see what happens. He's going to have Deshaun Watson for the half of the year at this very moment. Then you have Albert. Are you okay with Mike Gesicki? This is probably the best team, in my opinion. I like this team a lot because the wide receiver rooms are strong and the running back room is decently valued. It's good. There's good value there. Najee, which is great, your RB1. James Conner with a 3-year contract. We do have a video out now talking about him, so go check that out. I think it's okay to take him there at the A6. 3-year contract. Does he keep this workload? We don't know. But even if he doesn't, he goes back to that what we saw this past year, just scoring touchdowns. That's great for an RB2. And then Damian Harris. So I like this team. This is probably the best team in my opinion. There's definitely areas that you probably could have done a little bit better. Maybe you do take a running back early. Maybe you don't get one of these wide receivers, and you take a running back. Let's see. I mean, I like Michael Pittman at the 5.7, so maybe that's probably the best option. I can't think of anyone else. Maybe you take Lenny over Amari Cooper and then hope to get a Michael Gallup or, I don't know, something like that. Cortland Sutton in the 8th around that area. But that's the thought process. I really like this team. This is a really, really strong team. I'm going to give this a B+. It's not an A, but it's a B+ for me.
Yeah, I like this team. Yeah, I think B+ A- is where I kind of would hinge as well. D-Law. We got Jamar Chase, Burks, Evans, Dotson, Chenault, and Juan Dale W. Thank you, Blue, for the super chat, by the way. He said, shout out Murdog. Jasmine's a dude catfishing. Uh-oh. We got some beef in the chat.
Sorry, I said your team sucks. No,
got some wagyu in the chat. All right, so our quarterbacks are Stafford, Tua, and Jordan Love. Our running backs are Dobbins, Montgomery, Singletary, Ford, James Robinson. Our tight end is Pat the Dragon Freiermuth. This is a pretty good team. When I look at the quarterback room, I'm happy. I'm satisfied with this quarterback room. Maybe we want I still think Jordan Love should be on every roster, but maybe as a 4th quarterback, I don't think we're going to be able to really rely on him all that much. You know what I mean? The running back room is strong enough for me. I know a lot of people want like more serious running backs, like a lot more depth, but it's strong enough for me. Wide receiver room, I'm okay with the wide receiver room. Jamar Chase is always going to make your wide receiver room look a little bit better. We took a lot of shots here on these rookies, so let's hope that pans out for us. So there is a little bit of risk reward there. I like this team. This is a B+ team for me. It's not an A just because, I like Tua. I'm definitely okay with the Tua pick. I would prefer a stronger quarterback room outside of him. This is a really good team. It's like really on the edge of an A- B+ for me, Badaki. I can't decide between A- B+. It's a good team.
Yeah, it is a good team. And I think Jasmine said that this team could be competing for next year.
Yeah.
Like it's a good team, so it's very, very interesting. Sean, you're from New Zealand, bro? Hey, New Zealand's opening up, guys. So go to New Zealand, huh? I don't know when the date is it's happening. Sean put in the chat, but I know New Zealand is opening its borders. It's a beautiful, beautiful city, beautiful country, crazy mountains. The first time I saw mountains, just a shout out to New Zealand. Justin Jefferson, DeAndre Hopkins, Tyler Lockett, Roberto Woods, OBJ. Then you got Trey Lance, Kirk Cousins, and Jameis Winston, huh? Let's eat. Then you have Austin Eckler, Joe Mixon, Isaiah Spiller, Miles Sanders, and then Travis Kelce and Zach Ertz.
It's a pretty damn good win now team.
Yeah, this is a great win now team. For me, is Isaiah Spiller. Okay. I think it's for Zach as well. If there was one thing we had a nitpick, I would have been happy with James Conner.
Totally. If you're going to win now, yeah, definitely.
Like, take a chance on James Conner. Take a chance on, Lenny went right after. I would even take a chance maybe on Zeke. Whatever the case may be, I would have taken one of those guys over Isaiah Spiller. But this is a great team. This is a good win now team. By the way, you have Kenneth Gainwell down there as well. I didn't say that. So this is a good win now team.
Do you if you're gonna go win now strategy though, do you maybe go Stafford or Wilson over Trey Lance?
That's exactly what I was. That's exactly where I was going. I was thinking maybe you go there because if there was something that had to change, I would have done that. I would have taken Stafford or Wilson, and just felt more comfortable with my process and where that's going. But maybe
the downfall of that is if Trey comes out and he's the quarterback that we think he can be, then you're going to regret it. You're going to regret not taking him.
Exactly. And that's a chance you take on a guy like that because you do have your 1-2 punch in your young guys in Justin Jefferson and Trey Lance. And if Trey Lance does hit, you're chilling.
Yeah, I like it.
Travis Kelce loses Tyreek Hill. They probably get another wide receiver.
Hey, thank you, Pablo. The life of Pablo. Thank you for the sub, my guy.
Be careful, Pablo. I really like this though. This is a great team. I think this is going to be an A minus.
Yeah.
Just because of that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Lithium. We got Javonte Williams. Nick's got a little chubby. James Cook and Chuba Hubbard. Our quarterbacks are Jalen Hurts, Ritter, and Jones. Ooh, I do not like this quarterback room. I'll explain. We got Kyle Pitts. Love the tight end room. That's all you need. Wide receivers are Diggs, Mooney, Williams, Renfro, Gabe Davis, Ron the Don, and KJ Osborne. Okay, so let's break this down position by position. Quarterbacks. I'm really not liking this quarterback room. You guys know I am not a big Jalen Hurts lover. I don't think there's enough there for me to believe in him long term. So I'm hesitant to draft him. I would prefer, if I do draft him, for him to be my second quarterback rather than my first. And now we're just taking shots here on Daniel Jones and Ritter late. And these aren't guys that I feel like I can rely on. So there's just a ton of question marks in the quarterback room for me. Running back room, pretty strong. You got Javonte and Nick Chubb. I would prefer to have a better third running back than James Cook and Hubbard. But I think that's good value where you drafted them. So maybe they turn out to be something. The wide receiver room, I have a lot of questions on the wide receiver room. For example, Mooney at the 6'1". While I like Mooney, I think there are definitely players I would have taken over Mooney on the board, including Hollywood Brown, including some of these rookies, Mari Cooper. So I'm finding it hard to justify Mooney that early. Mike Williams, I think, is good value, but Hunter Renfrow at the 8-1, it is way too early for Hunter Renfrow. The way that Hunter Renfrow really won last year was off of target share, and now the Devontae Adams is coming in, who demands more targets than any other wide receiver. So I think I would much rather have had Tony, Bateman, Gallup, Sutton, Ayuk, Allen Robinson, Pickens, Juju, Chase, Dotson, Lockett, almost all those guys over Hunter Renfrow. I like the Rondale pick. So there's just quite a few things I would have done differently. I like the running back It's running back room is strong up top, but it's weak at the bottom. Tight end, you are absolutely set. Quarterbacks are question marks. Wide receivers are question marks. So this is going to be a C flat team for me, just a C flat. I think there's quite a few things we could do a little bit differently. But again, I'll say this, as we always say, these are just our opinions. Doesn't mean it's black and white. We are grading these based off of our personal opinions and biases. But yeah, there's quite a few things I would have done a little bit differently there. Do we have a mock drafter of the night?
I think
Sean, right?
It was Sean from New Zealand, bro. The beautiful country of New Zealand. Once again, New Zealand is open, and hey, he's winning the mock draft of the night.
Congratulations, brother. Congratulations, Sean. Mock drafter of the night. Again, you can see his team right there. So congratulations. I think you did the win now strat really well. If Lance hits, that's an incredible way to do a win now strategy. If Lance doesn't hit, might have some question marks. You might ask yourself later if you're in the championship and you don't have one of those reliable quarterbacks. But it's really, really well done. I think you killed it. Badaki thinks you killed it. Well done.
I think it's great.
Yes, sir. I think that's it for today.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I'm just reading the chat. I'm just catching up with everyone. Call Nation, why are we talking about Amon-Ra like we're talking about Hunter Renfrow? I mean, Hunter Renfrow got Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
Like, that's why.
Well, who's there? I'm definitely questioning Amon-Ra compared to everyone in the community, but I would much rather have Amon-Ra over Renfrow, and I think the situations are quite different. Waller demands a ton of targets. Adams demands the most targets of any wide receivers, whereas Amon-Ra, there's definitely competition, but DJ Chark doesn't really scare me off. Swift will definitely get his, but yeah, I think it's a little bit of a different situation there for sure.
Yeah. That's all good.
Sean, I do believe that is an All Blacks logo. Yeah. The All Blacks are massive in New Zealand. I mean,
the All Blacks.
Everyone's going for the All Blacks.
They do the little. I don't know how to do it.
I don't think you should try.
Sorry if that's disrespectful. That's actually like, I don't know. Sorry, Sean. It's actually not. I actually don't mean that in a disrespectful way.
Yeah.
But it's actually very it's cool, and it's like, oh shit.
It's all right. We expect your public apology on your Instagram here soon. Okay. Hey, this was a lot of fun. We'll plug a couple things to end the stream here. If you don't know, we do have follower leagues, and there's one spot left in our most recent Dynasty Startup. Please feel free to ask us any questions if you have any. Patreon link is there. We do have a Discord that you can join if you want to be a part of a community with people who love fantasy, and you can ask questions with each other. And then lastly, we also have a redraft channel if you would like to follow us over there. That channel is going to start popping off towards the beginning of the season, about a couple months before the season. And I think that's it, Badaki.
Yeah, that's it.
Rookie draft tomorrow.
Rookie draft tomorrow. We have some couple videos coming out this week as well. Like Zach said, we talk about Antonio Gibson. We talk about Jalen Waddle. We have some deep late round dynasty value picks for you. Some people that you should be trying to target in the 15 round and later.
Yeah.
And we also have win now trades as well. That's already out. So you go check that video out. And then we have some other videos coming out.
Yes, sir.
We're recording this week as well. So all love.
Huge love. We will see you guys tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for a rookie only draft.
Mm-hmm.
See you there.